up, YouTube? Knight's Edge here again. Got another little quick knife review of a really cool little knife. This one's brought to you by Mr. Eddie from Mr. Eddie underscore 411. Go check him out on Instagram. Got a lot of really cool knives. He sent me a bunch of them to unbox, which I did on a live stream a while back. This is one of them. Really neat knife. Before I get into it, I want to go ahead and put out there, I just got a Patreon, changed my intro. If you guys kind of noticed in the intro in the video, kind of put the Patreon, I put one of Mr. Eddie's and one of Mr. Lanyard Man, Stephen Weigel. Shout out to him, and shout out to Dominic as well, if you're watching. Put a little in a couple of their knives in the intro, but I do have a Patreon now, slowly taking off. I'm going to try to do a little bit of Patreon exclusive stuff, just to try to get the ball rolling on that, just to, try to get a little bit of income and, help out the channel a little bit with shipping or whatever. I'm just trying to pretty much break even and maybe one day be up to the level of, someone that gets some really cool knives in. So if you're interested, join the Patreon. I would really appreciate it. There's multiple tiers. All the tiers are, the same content. Starting out at, I believe, $2.99 a month. So check that out. And hopefully we'll have channel memberships coming soon. So anyway, now that I got that out the way, here's the knife. TW Price Dawn. This is Dawn version 2. Really cool knife. I was pretty surprised by this knife. I generally like knives larger in size than this one. And whenever, I started kind of playing around with it and fidgeting with it and everything, I carried it for a couple of days. This one's actually a pretty interesting one. TW Price, the guy's name is Tyler Price. He's 21. I think he's 21 years old. He's from the U.S. This is OEM by Bestech, but he's a college student and also a father, and been into making and designing knives his whole life. So, I thought that was a pretty cool younger guy designing something like this. He's got a couple other designs, I believe, but I believe this is his most popular one. Not 100% sure on that, but yeah, this is a super nice little knife. Go ahead and flip her open there. But yeah, the handle on it's really nice. It's really smooth, contoured, everything about it. I'm gonna go ahead and get the specs out of the way here so I can kind of get into the the whole story of how I feel about it and all the little details. We got from the tip of the blade, you're looking at right at 7.5 inches overall length. If you go from the tip of the blade to the handle right there, looking right at I don't know, was that about 3 3/8? If you go right there, and it does have a little bit of a forward choil, a little bit of finger choil. Right at 3 inches is a cutting edge. It just maybe a hair over 3 inches cutting edge right there. We'll get the calipers out. A quick check on the blade stock thickness here. All right, thickest part of the spine. A little bit of a hollow grind on there going on. I don't know, it kind of swedges down. It's kind of hard to tell. Let's see. All right, so if you measure right there, I'm sure if you measure, depending on where you measure, of course, you're going to get different readings there, but that's 113 thousandths, around 113.5 thousandths. Go down towards the end, about 85 thousandths. Got a little bit of a swedge going up on this top part right there, so kind of throws off the calipers a little bit, I guess, if you're looking at blade stock thickness. But the thickest reading I got was at 113 thousandths, so that's what you're looking at there. Behind the edge, you want to go down behind the edge. Pretty slicey. It goes down to about 100, or goes down to about 15 thousandths. So that's what I would call pretty slicey. Handle thickness, just under 1/2 inch, so no big deal there either way. I'll turn that off. Go ahead and get size comparisons out the way. Here's the Ontario Knives Rat Model 1. All right, so that definitely, if you got no idea what size it is, putting that Rat 1 out there definitely gives you an idea, right? So there's a rat 1, there's a rat 2. So kind of in between the two. Go ahead and put those up. Spyderco Para 3, Spyderco Paramilitary 2. And again, you can kind of tell more along the lines of the size of the Para 3, I would think, but a little more cutting edge, definitely, than the Para 3. And last but not least, get out the Doug Ritter Hogue RSK MK1 and G10, and the Hogue Deca. All right. So what I was surprised by is it's pretty similar to the Hogue Deca when you look at it. If you look at the ergonomic lines on it, it doesn't. The Deca, of course, doesn't have that choil, but pretty similar. Whereas without the choil, this has a little more cutting edge, and without the cutting edge, this has a little more choil, right? But the grip, the ergonomic lines are pretty similar. The overall length on the two are fairly similar. So I just thought that was interesting. So there you go. All right, we get out the scale here. And I mean, this thing feels, I don't know if it's lighter than it is. I know it is milled out internally. Look in there. You can kind of see the milling that they got going on in there. A little bit there. So handles are definitely milled out good. I would guess right around 3.5 ounces. My guess on that. Not close, 3.7 ounces. Not too far off. A lot closer than I usually am. So 3.7 ounces on that. That's pretty good. It's over an ounce and inch ratio, but I mean you're dealing with titanium, so gotta keep that in mind. Get out the let's go ahead and do carry profile and compare the thicknesses of the two. All right, so that's a Paramilitary 2 with titanium Lotus scales. Let me do let's see, this is a Ritter Hogue with the stock scales, right? So kind of gives you a good idea of the thickness or lack of thickness of it. Pretty thin, pretty good. I always say I've got, average size hands. I wear a large glove. So, I would say this is pretty much a perfect fit. I would prefer a little bit larger of a knife. If I had like a larger version of this one, it would be awesome. Not like huge or anything, but maybe, overall just like a little bit, would be in my like absolutely perfect preferred range. But this thing really surprised me. 7.5 inch overall length knives I don't really prefer too often, especially compared to like a larger size. But that really surprised me on this for sure. So get out the little Weeha bit driver, and this is a T8 I got in here. All right. Yeah, T8. I'll go ahead, and it's got a captive pivot, by the way, and look at that. Pretty nice little touch there, huh? That purple Zirconium or whatever that is, pivot collar. That's pretty cool looking. Damascus, I'm not sure. T8, right? So T8 with a captive pivot, doing good so far. T8 there. T8. T8, awesome, man. All the screws on this thing are T8s. That is awesome. As far as other hardware goes, you got the bolsters with the screws, and then the clip, and you've got this kind of hidden screw on the clip, so that's a nice touch too, right? So there's no visible clip on the show side, on the outside right there, where or no visible screw on the on the show side of the clip. So I thought that was pretty neat. So A+ on hardware, man. That's awesome. Good job on that for sure. If you look on the inside, there is a little bit. I don't know if you can see it up in there. A couple little screws in there. It is an inset liner lock. Really great, lockup ratio. Over like that. That is very, very good right there. Very good lockup. I can't quit fidgeting with this thing, man. This thing is really fidgety. I think that's it as far as specs go. So as far as materials go, you're looking at titanium on the handles. Really super smooth, really contoured, very nice feeling. lines on that titanium. They're there for grip. You can tell they're there, but they're not sharp or anything like that. The handles are very contoured, very chamfered. Very, very nice job that he did on that for sure. Jimping on top of the blade there. If you're choked back, use that. And choked up is if I could go about one knuckle, I'm good on it. I can't get a full, meaty paw, full grab on it, but because if it went back a little more, it might, be like a full grip, I guess you could call it, finger choil. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, 100%. And that jimping feels really nice right there. Really good activation on it. The lock doesn't stick. There's no lock stick on it whatsoever. It's centered up 100%. No issues there as far as blade play goes. No blade play, up, down, left, right. No blade play there. That's awesome. Other materials would be not titanium, M390 on that. So M390 and titanium with whatever. I'm not 100% sure what that pivot collar is made out of. I don't know, like Zircotite, Damascus. I don't like Damascus, but yeah, nice little pivot collar there. So that's pretty cool. I believe these are OEM by Bestech. So very good quality there. I like the fuller. The fuller, you can deploy it with the fuller easy. No issues there. It is the fuller, they didn't quite mill down or chamfer the fuller exactly. You definitely know you got your finger on it or your thumb on it whenever you're touching the fuller, but it's not, it's not abrasive. It doesn't hurt you really. It's really good. So as far as opening and closing this thing, this is pretty fidgety. You can kind of play with this thing. You can sit there and flick it all day long. So you opening it up, you can do the reverse flick, pretty easy like that. No problem there. It's got a front flipper. You can reach around the top right there. No problem there. I think that's one thing that's pretty neat about this knife, because I've never been really good at opening like that, but I think that's really cool. Got a really cool sound too, really hard metallic sound, especially when you open it like that. Front flipper, never been really great at that, but I do like that. That's pretty cool. So definitely a lot of different deployment methods. The only downside that I could find about this knife, other than the fact that I would like it to be just a hair bigger, is it's not left-handed carry friendly. So that is a downside for people that are left-handed. So definitely keep that in mind if you're left-handed. But if you look at it, you would, I was wondering kind of at first if maybe I could take this off and put it over here, and it had the same, hidden screw or whatever. But if you look at it, you take that off, they do have like a little flat spot kind of right underneath. See it a little bit, a little flat spot right where the clip lands, which is perfect, because it causes it not to like grip your pants as much. It doesn't it's not as abrasive. You don't get the abrasive effect of the handle on your pants when you're moving in and out of pocket. So that's a good thing. But one thing that it does ensure you can't move it over to the left side. And I totally forgot to do the blue jeans on this one, so y'all forgive me. Kind of out of my normal routine. Pretty excited about this one. So that's what you're looking at as far as carry. I have no issues with that. Not what I would call absolutely deep carry, but it is pretty, pretty hidden. There's not like a ton sticking out, so that's a good thing too. And like I said earlier, no screws sticking out whenever you got it in pocket. So I think that's about it, man. Like, this thing is an awesome knife. I really like it a lot. Even for a knife of its size, which I usually prefer a little bit bigger of a knife, I would totally carry this knife every day. It locks up solid. It's got a good blade steel, you know, M390, nothing wrong with that. Retails around 300, 325, I believe. I think it's 325. I think they're sold out right now, actually, but I'm sure he'll do more drops of these. This is the version 2. It's a TW Price Dawn version 2. So, yeah, I think that's about it, y'all. Definitely, if you get a chance to handle this knife, it is a good one, you know. Really good action. It's running on bearings, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that, but it's running on bearings. Really great action, really great knife. I like it a lot. It's going to go on my most recommended knives playlist for sure. And yeah, that's it. So again, I appreciate everyone for watching. If you feel like it, if you like the content, you want to support the channel, definitely check out the link for the Patreon down below, and subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate anybody that subscribe and like the video if you like the content too. So yeah, so until next time, I'll see you guys later.